Why does Go-Gurt like going to the museums?
Go-Gurt. Like Go-Gurt?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because she's so cultured.
Oh. Oh.
Hungry Squared, bringing you the best food talk anywhere.
Welcome to the Hungry Squared podcast where the brain and belly meet. I'm Sharon from the Wasatch Cooking Guide.
And I'm Winter from theredparty.com. This week, we are talking about food vending machines.
What?
Yeah, food vending machines.
All right.
Let's talk about it.
Hungry Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.
Sharon, hello.
Hello, Winter.
How are you?
Good. How's your week?
So far, it's been okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Can't complain too much. I mean, if I do, nobody's going to listen. So let's be completely honest.
No, we've got a captive audience.
We do.
Go.
Hey, everybody. No, it's been okay. Yeah, I'll say it's okay. How about you?
It's been pretty good. I wanted to talk to you about something that I saw online today.
Oh, yikes. Okay, let's hear it.
It was on Huffington Post.
Okay.
And no, it's not political, guys. It's not.
Oh my gosh.
It's this guy who was, I think his name's Matt. He is a former Nathan's hot dog contest eating champion.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The annual 4th of July hot dog eating
Yes.
contest. We've talked about it before.
It's horrifying. Horrifying, people.
He went to In-N-Out Burgers, right?
Uh-huh.
And ordered 12 vanilla milkshakes in the drive-thru. He went home and dumped them into a container that he measured out 1.25 gallons, 1.25 gallons, and drank it.
He did the gallon challenge, basically.
No, it's more than 1 gallon.
I know,
and
but
the gallon challenge is only milk.
I know, but still, like,
And it's over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or under an hour.
I think it's under an hour. Lee and I were just talking about this.
We used to do that at college all the time.
What's wrong with you people?
Dare people. I never did it.
Okay, good.
But I'd egg people on, and so I'd dare them. It was hilarious.
Oh, gross.
But this guy drank.
How quickly?
Do you want to guess?
Okay. It's
1.25 gallons of vanilla milkshake from In-N-Out.
I'm going to say he did it in like 15 minutes.
You would be wrong.
Lower?
Less than 5.
Less than 5 minutes?
Like just barely.
Did he
but less than 5.
Did he throw up?
Well, it didn't show it on there. I mean, it showed him like afterwards for a little bit.
Oh.
Anyhow, not immediately. So that's pretty cool.
Sharon, I think it's funny that you bring this up because really yesterday, honestly, I was putting something down the disposal. I think there was a piece of bread that had been sitting in the sink and had soaked up a lot of water, and I hadn't just put it down the disposal.
Doesn't it like start to disintegrate at that point?
Well, it was actually just really super
down.
Soggy. And so I was like, I cannot handle soggy bread. And
why did you think of me?
No. I didn't. I thought of, I could never participate in the way the Nathan's, a lot of the Nathan's hot dog people.
They dip it in water.
They dip it in water. And that texture is no bueno.
Yeah.
I usually don't have issues with textures, but that is a little too like, ugh.
Yeah, we had this last week. So last week we had brats for dinner. Like the boys love brats.
Yeah.
I am okay on the brat. Like it's not my favorite, but it's one of their favorite. But we were at the store and I was like, well, what kind of brats do you want? And I saw the Nathan's hot dogs. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather have a hot dog.
I love hot dogs.
We got Nathan's skinless hot dogs.
Oh, so no casing, huh?
Yeah, I like that it is skinless because it makes me feel like it's not as, I don't know. There's not as much snap, all right? There isn't.
The casing is
but
what
I
gives a snap.
appreciate that all the same. But as we were getting them ready and stuff, because it was like a quick dinner because we had to go somewhere. And I was like, how many hot dogs can you eat? And I thought he was talking about like that night. I was like, 1. He's like, 1, you can only eat 1. I was like, I don't know, make 2 just in case. I'm only hungry for one hot dog. And he's like, no, how many hot dogs can you eat?
Sharon,
Like, if you were going to eat hot dogs.
Lee asked me the same question yesterday. I'm completely serious.
Really?
I'm totally serious. When we had this discussion about the whole Nathan's blah, 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 he's like, how many do you think you can eat? I was like, I'm not eating it that way where you soggy it up.
How many can you eat, do you think?
You know, I think I could probably solidly do 5.
Huh. I said 5, maybe 6 if I was really pushing it.
Okay.
But I would have to like not eat for a while beforehand.
Yeah.
Like the day.
I think I could like pretty easily do 3.
Oh, sure.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
4 is going to be a little uncomfortable, and then 5 is going to be.
I am full.
Yes.
6, I can like.
I don't know if I could
try
do 6.
not to throw up. I could try not to throw up for 6.
This is the weirdest beginning conversation we've had in a long time.
Do you know how many I can eat?
How many?
He's like, I'm sure I'm good for 15. Like, what? You're sure?
Oh, this is the other thing I brought up with Lee. I was like,
How many can Lee eat?
I don't know. I actually don't know if we got that far because of the fact that we started arguing about the time, like what time frame we're talking about, how much you can eat. Because I'm like, oh, I can eat loads of hot dogs if you give me a little time, right?
Oh, well, what's your time frame for 5 hot dogs?
I don't know. 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Is that
I
too
was thinking it was like an hour. I'm like 6 if I don't throw up.
Okay, 15 minutes maybe is little. I don't know. I've never tried it before. Okay.
That might be our next challenge.
No, we're not going to do that.
Might be. I'm just saying. Will Winter and Lee eat it?
Well, Lee.
How many hot dogs in 15 minutes?
I think he can eat a lot.
I bet he could.
I bet he could. Well, maybe. We'll see. Okay.
We're going to post a link to the video because there's a video of the guy drinking the vanilla milkshake.
Ugh. Okay.
We're going to post a video of it in our show notes.
Hopefully it does not have the barfing.
No, he's not barfing.
I'm sure he's going to barf. He barfed after the fact.
Well, it's not recorded.
Gross. Okay. So for the food nerd shout out this week, it's actually, we're going to go a little old school, Sharon.
Oh, yeah?
We got a food fight.
Yes.
We haven't gotten a food fight for a little while because we announced we're not changing it up. And so we haven't had one for a while now. So we got this food fight on September 2nd. So I'm a little behind. Sorry about that.
Well, we had a wedding.
It was busy.
And other things. You know.
So Cambria J, thanks for writing in. This one's a really good one, Sharon. I think you're going to like it. It's a dilemma that I think we can kind of understand and maybe have some solutions to. I'm not sure. Okay, let me read.
Let's hear it.
It's a good one. Stick with me. All right, Hungry Square duo, I need help. I'm an adventurous cook and baker, but my husband is not necessarily. I hate eating the same 5 meals throughout the week, but that is how he was raised. And I especially love trying new dessert combos and flavors. But my husband is perfectly content with his Oreos or cookies and cream desserts. He will eat whatever I make, no matter what, and I love him for it. But if he had the option, he would still choose Oreos over anything. She put that in all caps. We have only been married 5 months, and I'm hoping he will branch out eventually. But what can I do to give him that push? I just need some suggestions on how to get him more involved in the kitchen and how to help him see that there are better flavors out there than cookies and cream. Thanks. And then she signed off as tired of Oreos. What do you think, Sharon?
That's kind of a tough one. I mean, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
People get really set in what their favorites.
It's
and
comfortable.
What they do and don't like.
It's expected. It's comfortable.
Yeah. My favorite desserts are chocolate. Pretty much always.
Yep.
My favorite cookie is a chocolate chip cookie.
Yep.
Straight. Just regular chocolate chip cookie. Although not everyone's chocolate chip cookies are good. I'll put that out there too.
Yep.
We've got a kid at home that his favorite flavor, hands down above the rest, is red velvet.
Which is
arguably not a flavor.
It's not a flavor. It's a food dye.
Yeah. And then another kid whose hands down favorite is cookies and cream.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So?
And then a husband, Ike, who likes everything, which is awesome. But also like there's random things he doesn't like that I'll make. And he's like, oh, that's not really my favorite. And I'm like, what?
Where
I've
did
known
that
you
come
for
from?
years.
Where did that come from?
And it's like new revelations.
Well, that's the part of getting to know each other, right?
Right.
He's a new husband.
But 8 years.
I know.
It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. So yeah, I think a secret to branching out would be to maybe try similar flavors.
Yes. I was about to say that because when I first read this, it reminded me of Bryce and Katie Hansen's interview that we had about the Ergo Spout.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bryce said something that struck me. He's like, our product came out and it was unique, but it had some sort of familiarity to it. So, Cambria, I think you need to do something. You got to kind of go with some similar flavors to kind of ease him into it.
Yeah. I mean, I think a good one would be to try cannoli. Make him some cannoli. You've got some cream filling there with a cookie crunch.
Yep.
You can even do a chocolate drizzle on top or like some chocolate chips in the filling, like mini chocolate chips.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things that you could do with that. Maybe dip the cookie part of the cannoli in chocolate.
Yeah.
So he's got that cream and chocolate flavor, but it's still something that's totally different than an Oreo.
I would suggest maybe incorporating Oreos into a something. For example, a crust to, say, a cheesecake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty easy to do that Oreo crust, little butter, that type, smash them up, that type of thing. Press them down into your pan and then do a cheesecake. And it could just be a straight, regular New York style cheesecake. Or you could do a flavor like something that you want to try. So there's some familiarity with that crust, but there's a different flavor that you kind of want to put together. Like say a raspberry cheesecake with...
Oh, I think that's great.
With that chocolate crust. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And when it comes getting ready to have him more involved in the kitchen, what do you think about that, Sharon? We both are married to chefs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that out there. So they probably are the ones that complain about, I'm sure Lee thinks in his head, Winter needs to cook more. And I'm like, what? You're always... But
you like it.
Yeah. What do you think?
Ike and I take turns cooking. It's kind of nice, but I'm usually like the weeknight cook.
Yeah.
Typically.
Gotcha.
And the weeknight meal planner. Weekends are a little bit looser. We've got more time.
Right.
We do stuff that takes longer than 30 minutes. I'm becoming the master at the 30 to 40 minute meal.
Yes.
Sometimes even less.
It's key.
Yeah, because when you've been working all day, you just have to get food on the table.
Bust it out.
I would involve him more in planning your meals and like your food budget. And maybe if he's not inclined to cook, that's okay for now. But I would involve him more in meal planning, just looking at cookbooks or recipe blogs, that type of a thing, and figuring out like how much you want to spend on your food budget and sticking to that in a way that works for you guys, but also you're able to eat good food.
Right.
And maybe take him grocery shopping, involve him more with grocery shopping and the selection of that kind of stuff. So if he doesn't want to cook it or claims that he's no good at knife skills or he'll burn it or whatever, he's still involved.
Yeah. And that feels great when you're first married because there's a division of labor that needs to happen.
Yeah, sure.
And so that would be good to do. Cambria, I'm going to just suggest something. I know that your husband may only like 5 certain meals every single day throughout the week and only loves cookies and cream as an Oreo. But maybe you should consider a challenge. Like, how can I make this tuna casserole that he absolutely insists on every Monday the best tuna casserole you've ever made and he's ever had? That would actually be kind of fun. Or like you could be known as the cookies and cream dessert person everywhere in your work, with your family. If you just make it awesome, you could totally be the expert on cookies and cream desserts and he'd be happy.
That's true. You could kind of tweak it enough that it tastes interesting and good every time.
Yeah. So, and something different too.
But it's not plain Jane.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Just a thought. And if all else fails, you can start introducing those weird flavored Oreos to him and see what he likes.
Yes.
And then start riffing desserts off of those flavors. Do you know which ones I'm talking about, Sharon? The Oreo flavors?
Yeah, like the lemon.
Dulce de leche.
Yes, that
hello.
one's a good one. They have peanut butter, I think, now. I've seen red velvet. The boys love that one. There's a firework or firecracker Oreo that came out around the 4th of July.
Wait, does it have Pop Rocks in it?
It sure does.
Nope. That's gross. I've tried it before and it's gross. Don't do that one.
Sure does. So after you've swallowed it, the Pop Rocks are still going at the back of your throat.
Don't do it. No. Okay. I'll put a link in the show notes for some weird flavored Oreos so that maybe that could be something you can try.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Let's dig into the kitchen drawer.
No.
I don't know.
That really was really bad. No, that's...
No, not having it. Okay. We're going to dig into the kitchen drawer.
Let's do it. What do you have today, Sharon?
I have got restaurant quart containers.
Oh, you have restaurant quart containers?
We do. One of the places that we go and get our kitchen stuff. We occasionally get stuff at IKEA, as we've talked about previously. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go to random specialty stores and then Amazon. But one of our favorite places to get kitchen stuff from is the Restaurant Supply.
That's just a local restaurant supply company.
Yeah,
that
ours
we have
here in Utah is called Standard Restaurant Supply.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they're a nationwide chain, but you can find a restaurant supply store that sells to the public near you if you're in the U.S.
There are
They're
restaurants
everywhere.
that need supplies, and so
there's
usually something.
Just Google it in your neck of the woods, and we get these cool. It's like we're going to put a link in the show notes to what I'm talking about, but you usually get, I don't know, a dozen of them, sometimes 2 dozen or 3, depends on how many sleeves you buy type of a thing. But they're 32-ounce containers with lids on them.
So they're round.
They're round. Sometimes you can get them in a square, I think. I've seen them in squares before. Okay. But they're usually round cylinders with a little lid on top. And so it looks like cheap Tupperware.
I'm looking at the picture now because she just showed it to me. You know, when you go to the deli counter, you want some mac and cheese. It's those kind of round containers with the lid. That's the plastic.
Yeah, you order
containers.
like a pound of it and they put it in that.
The thickness of that plastic, is it very thick or is it flimsier?
It's pretty flimsy. However, it is sturdy. It feels flimsy, but it's pretty sturdy.
Okay.
And it's typically recyclable.
So what do you use?
Leftovers.
Tupperware. It's basically Tupperware.
Food storage containers.
I think it's cheaper than Tupperware too.
It is. It's totally cheaper.
Like a lot cheaper.
And it stacks neatly in your cupboard or drawer when you're storing it. And it stacks neatly in your refrigerator.
Yeah.
And it's see-through, so you can see immediately what's there.
Yeah.
It takes adhesive tape like Scotch tape or masking tape really well. And it rips off really well without leaving a really gross residue.
Yeah.
Unlike some food storage containers where it just grips it.
Yeah.
They're dishwasher safe.
Nice.
Generally, they're microwave safe. So, yeah, we love them.
That's a good idea, actually.
Well, I went to a cooking class a few months back and I came home with these because it was at an actual cooking school.
Yeah.
The Park City Culinary Institute. Came home with leftovers in these containers. And Ike's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about those. Let's just order a bunch. And I was like, what, really? And he's like, yes, I love these so much more than what we're using right now.
Did you get rid of your Tupperware and stuff?
We did.
Good job. Okay, I'm going to just say what I see right now is the 32-ounce containers. There's a 24-pack for $12.
Yep.
That's really inexpensive.
And I know based on like our leftovers.
Yeah. That's
how
about
full
right.
the container is, I can kind of judge like how many servings are in there.
Oh yeah.
For like our hungry boys.
Right.
When it's left overnight, I'm like, oh, we only have enough for one of you. Or
we got to figure out something else for.
Right, exactly.
You're eating this leftover and he's eating this leftover.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That's perfect.
Okay, well, I'll post a link in the show notes. What's your rating?
I'm going to give it a 4-star rating.
Okay, why a 4?
Versus 5, I'm giving it a 4-star because they don't last forever.
Okay.
You can make them last forever.
Right.
But eventually, and I'm talking after a couple of years, eventually they get gross. I've used these before in a kitchen I've had before, but yeah. So eventually they get gross, but you can recycle them.
I was like, that's the way Tupperware is too. So yeah. It gets gross after a while if it's not the glass. Right?
If it's not the glass, yeah. So, I mean, I really like the glass. It's just, it's really heavy to carry.
It is.
And, you know, these don't break. Yeah. You can drop it. And those lids stay pretty secure. So I really like that.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me. 4 out of 5.
And now for the main course.
Okay, let's get down to our topic at hand. Food vending machine.
This was a listener request from our friend Joanna.
Hey, Joanna.
She's the food stylist, our awesome food stylist. I just wanted to make sure that.
Oh, yeah. No,
okay.
I remember.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure because, you know, you never know.
Joanna M.
Yeah.
She's got an awesome website, a couple of awesome websites, and we might be interviewing her sometime in the future. Hint, hint, we'd really like to interview you.
Fun YouTube series and stuff like that about brain food and brainy, nerdy stuff, kind of up our alley. So check her out. I'll put a link in the show notes. But she wanted to know about vending machines.
Yeah.
Vending machines. Like what?
Food vending machines.
Food vending machines. Can I talk a little bit about the history of vending machines first? Period.
Sure.
In general, because I found this fascinating. So, first century, there was a vending machine.
What?
There was a vending machine, a very early version of a vending machine that was created by a man, an engineer, a mathematician named Heron. I don't know if that's how you say his name.
How do you spell it?
Heron.
Okay.
Heron?
Sure.
Heron. So this guy, there was a really troublesome thing that would happen at the temples. People were taking too much holy water.
Dun, dun, dun.
They went to the temples, they would worship, but they would take too much holy water.
Well,
so he thought through the problem and he created a holy water dispenser.
Oh.
And that you would take a token and drop it in, and the weight of the token, that coin, would push against a lever, like basically the coin would drop into a pan that was kind of attached to a lever, and that lever would open a door and the water would come out. But as the coin slid down off of the pan that the lever was attached to, the counterweight would pop back, basically close the holy water faucet. I don't think that's the correct thing. The door to the holy water.
Okay.
So that basically ensured that people were only getting so much holy water and not
everybody gets their fair share.
It was important.
Rationing the holy water.
Yes, exactly.
It's not enough for everyone.
But it really wasn't until...
If you steal.
It wasn't until the 1800s before this idea of a vending machine came back around again. Really, that long. I mean, this guy was brilliant.
That was sad.
I know.
Like,
it's a shame.
Oh, man.
Isn't it a shame?
Okay.
I feel like it's a little bit of a shame. So in 1883, a gentleman in London named Percival Everett, he created a vending machine for postcards and note paper. There was another gentleman kind of around the same time in the 1800s, or late 1800s, named Richard Carlisle, and he created a vending machine for books. And then later in the late 1800s, gumball machines started to show up. So that's kind of the first things that were vending food. It's like gum. Drink vendors, for example, started coming out in the 1930s. And these were not like pop cans, right? These are the
bottles.
No, some of them were bottles. Those ones are a little later, but the ones were chilled soft drinks that would dispense into a cup that you would stick in there.
Like a fountain.
Kind of, yeah. And then Coca-Cola in 1937, they, with their company Ventilator, they came up with dispensing the bottles of Coca-Cola. And then eventually they kind of got into the coffee machine business, it seemed like, as well. And then it wasn't until 1961 that the canned sodas kind of came into play. And that's when they started getting vended. Now, 1972 brought about something kind of funny that I was like, oh, I didn't ever think that this was super novel, but it was a game changer. Polyvend, the manufacturer Polyvend, created the first ever glass front vending machine. Before then,
you could see it.
Before then, it's just kind of like a box, right? It just
yeah.
Like if you think about the old school stuff that you might see in Mad Men or whatever,
there was just a logo on it.
A logo, or you can kind of see maybe what it was, but this front glass pane allowed you to see into it. That was a big design thing and a huge marketing thing, because you could present your food for people to choose from. And that was great and tempting, and people bought stuff. And then in 1987, they started vending frozen food. And I was like, frozen food? What are you talking about? And then I was like, ice cream.
Oh.
Do you remember doing that as a kid? As like, I like the ice cream on the little stick. Did you ever do that?
I'm trying to remember. I think I've seen it. I'm trying to remember getting one from a machine. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, we did that all the time. All the time.
Cool.
And I loved it. And so I just couldn't believe like the progression of like, yeah, people want to get their food quick and easy. I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I wanted to mention about the whole coffee machine thing. So, because I was like, coffee machine. Oh yeah. They used to have, you put your cup under there, you boop, push your button, and you get a stream of coffee coming out.
Right.
And it was like in the 40s that, do you remember talking about the coffee break, how it was kind of a marketing scheme?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically, these showed up a lot more because the coffee break was being pushed so much because of the whole coffee consortium in
culture.
Yes, that created that. I'll put a link in the show notes for that one because that was sneaky beverage advertising. So that's basically the timeline of some of the things that happened. I know that you're going to go into a little bit more of other things, well, different food stuff that you can get nowadays. But can I tell you about one other historical thing that I found fascinating? It really sounds kind of fun and cool and kitschy. And I'm a little surprised that we don't have them more here in the United States. But think about having a restaurant without waiters. There's no workers or anything. You get everything from a vending machine. And this was really quite novel back in the day from a set of this, like a restaurant chain called Horn and Hardart. It was originally thought to be just American, but this idea was started actually in Germany. And the restaurant was called Quisisana, and they were manufactured food vending machinery so that they created this like eatery based on all their food vending machines.
Oh, wow.
So they licensed this technology to Joseph Horn and Frank Hardart, who ended up opening this first American automat. That's what these kind of restaurants are called, automat, in Philadelphia in 1902.
Whoa.
So it's been around for a while, and they eventually became they were everywhere that they had like 40 different chains in New York City alone and dozens across the US.
And when was this?
This was back so it was 1902 was when they first opened their restaurant in Philadelphia. And then in the 1950s or so is when they were in their full force of automat nation. So what would happen is that I thought this was so fascinating because they kind of made it an experience. Like it was probably kitschy at the time and kind of fast and everything.
Sure.
So the first New York Horn and Hardart restaurant opened up in 1912. And there was something that was really cool about it that people wanted. Customers would go in, they would exchange their dollar bills for a handful of nickels. Because coins are a little easier to...
A food nickelcade.
Yeah, basically. And then they would actually get this exchanged money from attractive women in glass booths. They had rubber tips to handle all the dollar bills and stuff like that.
Oh, sure. Rubber
on their
fingers.
Then they would feed their little coins into the vending machines. They would turn knobs and stuff like that. And then you would pull out plates of hot food, meatloaf with mashed potatoes and dessert on the side and loads of other menu items.
That seems very space age.
Doesn't
like
it?
The Jetsons.
It's super futuristic. Kind of the other thing that was a little different than what was happening in New York City was that it was all cafeteria style. So you got your food and then you sat down kind of next to other people at a large table and ate together, which was a little opposite of what was going on in New York City, where it's kind of snobby and restaurant eating was very, highfalutin. It was kind of a novel idea. Now, it was interesting because there were obviously employees that were making this food behind the scenes. I think this is maybe the only drawback to this, but there were all these people that were making food, bringing the food to the vending machines, washing up dishes and stuff like that. And because they were not in front of customers, they kind of didn't pay their workers as well because they're like,
slave labor.
Kind of. They could just kind of go below what is out there because they're like, oh, you're kind of behind the scenes, so it's no big deal. which is kind of a bummer. But one thing of note is that they were the first restaurant chain in New York to offer customers fresh brewed coffee for a nickel a cup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think that's pretty common now at almost every single diner, you know?
But it's not a nickel a cup anymore.
No, it's definitely not. So those automat restaurants actually started pittering off because I've never seen them before. I don't think I've ever seen them before. You can see some stuff that occasionally will have like a sandwich or whatever in them. But they kind of died off because obviously fast food chains started to come in that were a little bit simpler. They could actually...
The drive-in,
they had simpler menus too. So they could kind of hone in on what they were good at and lower food costs and labor costs because they're not buying every single ingredient that you need for those menus that they used to have. Then obviously there was, fiscal crashes and stuff like that in the 1970s in New York. So those kind of just, unfortunately, spending all your money at these little automats was not as fiscally sound. So people started bringing food from home and just being a little bit more aware of their money. So it really is funny how it changes. And if you don't adapt, then you're going to go out of business, which is what they ended up doing. They kind of went out of business. I've never been to one, like I said, but apparently there is one in San Francisco called Itza. Same thing, except for instead of coins and that type of thing, it's all on iPads, and you put your order in iPads and walk up to the little thing, open up a thing and pull out your food from there. And it's a lot more healthier foods. It's like quinoa and veggies and, those power bowls and stuff like that. It's San Francisco.
Just kidding.
They're very healthy. So it's very good. So I thought that was really super fun. These automat vending machine restaurants that they used to have. Apparently you can find a portion of their one of their automats, like a 35-foot long chunk of the original restaurant at the Smithsonian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you're ever there, you can go take a look at it because that is a big part of our food history of this country.
Yeah.
Very interesting, I thought. So, but that's what I got. I thought it was fascinating.
It is.
We can talk all about the design too of different vending machines, but that is totally nerdy. So I especially like the coil. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Like you see your Snickers bar or chips that are like stuck in the coils, and then the coils move slowly.
And then they drop
your food
when it gets to the end of it. And occasionally it'll get stuck.
It does get stuck.
What do you do?
Shake it.
No, you're not supposed. Don't do that.
Do you know why you don't do that?
I think there's probably some reason why you don't do that, but you shouldn't do that. I'm assuming it has something to do with
risk of death.
Risk of death. It probably is.
Risk of death.
Risk of death.
Okay, did you know that you are more likely to die from a vending machine than you are from a shark attack?
What?
Yep.
Like how many more times am I talking?
On average, I think it's 2.1, 2.2 people die each year from a vending machine.
Oh my goodness. Because they shake them and it falls on them?
Yeah. There's been some studies done that have shown that impatient/angry people are more likely to get killed by a vending machine.
Well, let's be honest.
If you are able to take the gamble and walk away.
I just want to point out that impatient and angry people generally don't do as well in things in life.
Yeah, so that's approximately, you are twice as likely to die from a vending machine than you are from a shark. Okay. So I looked that up and found a really cool article that's on the Freakonomics blog.
Oh, love Freakonomics. They have a great blog. They have a great podcast. Just putting it out there.
And they have great books.
Yes.
So this particular person who wrote it is not one of the Stevens. It's Sanjoy Mahajan. Sorry, I butchered that last name. I'm sure I did. But his first name is Sanjoy. He talks about how he first heard this statistic when he was at the New England Aquarium with his daughters. And they're at like one of those petting takes for like the stingrays.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. He thought it was pretty ridiculous that you're twice as likely to die from a vending machine than a shark. But the aquarium's trying to, promote shark friendliness,
yes.
That type of a thing.
Yes.
And don't be afraid of the sharks. But you can be afraid of the great white sharks, but it's just not very probable. So he talked about the risks. Then he goes on to talk about conditional risk.
Is the angry and impatience conditional?
Well,
risk?
So it's where you live type of a thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So the yearly risk in the United States of dying from a shark attack is roughly 1 in 250 million. In contrast, the yearly risk in the U.S. of dying from a vending machine accident is roughly 1 in 112 million. The vending machine is indeed twice as lethal as the shark. He talks about the easiest case is often an extreme one, and his own extreme case of shark attack risk happened while he was teaching in Cape Town, South Africa. And he was on the beach one day he was learning to surf, and he heard whistles from lifeguards, and he just figured that people had gone out too far because where he was from in the US, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
But he actually, once he finally got out of the water, learned that they were warning people because a great white shark had been spotted swimming around the bay that he was in.
Great.
And he said, don't tell me that while surfing in the bay on that particular day, a vending machine posed more danger to me than that great white shark. It didn't, obviously. But from this extreme case, he said, I realized the problem with the comparison. These statistics are averaged over everyone in the U.S. So most places in the U.S., such as Kansas, people are nowhere near a body of water that has sharks in it.
Yeah.
The comparison of the risk to a vending machine, while true as far as it goes, ignores highly relevant information, such as whether you are swimming that day in the same bay as a shark. He illustrates it with some other anecdotes as well, but just know, people, statistically speaking, you are more likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark.
Be careful, yo. I'm just saying, that's crazy.
Yeah. Lee requested that we talk about vending machine deaths. Let's just put that out there. I was like,
Lee. Let
me look that up right now.
Sharon can look that up. And she did. Good work.
I looked up different types of vending machines because I kind of wanted to get more into the technology side.
Yeah.
But then I just got lost in everything that gets vended.
There's a lot of things that get vended. And you know what?
So many things.
I think because we're just super I want it now, and Amazon can't give me it right now, right?
Right.
There are vending machines all over the place now. And some of them are super high tech.
Oh my gosh. So I saw wine vending in France. You can go to some supermarkets
and get wine from a vending machine.
Right. Well, like you do here in the US, a lot of people go to the grocery store with their containers and they get bottled water.
Yeah. Oh,
they
get bottled wine.
Yeah. So you can go with your resealable container, you can go to a supermarket in France. Not any, but not all supermarkets have them.
Right.
You can get red, white, or rosé.
It's there. It's all there, you guys.
Yeah. So kind of funny. But then I was reading some more about that, and I saw a vending machine in Pennsylvania here in the United States on the East Coast.
Okay.
That also vends wine by the bottle.
Okay.
But you have to breathe into a breathalyzer first. And these vending machines are actually in Wegmans and Giant.
No way.
So they're in grocery store chains in Pennsylvania. And the vending machine is operated by the state. So it's a state-sponsored liquor store type vending machine.
That's awesome.
And there is remotely a government employee that monitors each transaction. So they look at your breathalyzer, you scan your ID. So you have to have an ID with you to scan it. You have to do the breathalyzer, and then you wait while they approve it. They just, hit a button or whatever.
They got to make sure you're not super sloshed when you get your wine.
It doesn't look like you have to wait that long. But somebody has to approve the transaction and then you can get your wine.
That's really funny.
I think that's brilliant.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. They probably were like, we're going to do a wine vending machine, this company, right? And then it was a lawmaker that's like, nope, we got to
State's going to make money on that.
Yeah, state's going to make money on that, but we've got to make sure all of the things are in place so not everybody freaks out.
Sure.
Yeah. It's smart, actually.
I saw a pizza oven. Machine.
Yeah.
So
hot pizza.
Yeah. Apparently this one particular one that I was reading about, it made the dough it advertises that it uses only fresh ingredients, and it actually makes the dough.
Who rolls it out?
I have no idea
how is that rolled out?
Works.
Let's talk about it.
But you chew. Well, I don't know because it didn't say.
I want to know.
Trying to look more into that.
I want to know.
And then I got distracted by this other stuff. But apparently it makes the dough. You choose a pizza and like it takes about 3 minutes or so and it's made.
There you
I
go.
mean, it looks slightly better than a Totino's. Just saying.
But I love the Totino's.
Yeah. I saw a lot of egg, like farm fresh egg dispensing machines.
They're raw?
Well, yeah. Like you can get a dozen eggs.
What?
From a vending machine.
You can do that at the store too. What?
Again, there's a vending machine for farm fresh eggs, like at the farms.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm so okay.
There is outside of Santa Cruz, California, there's a Glam Egg Ranch. Glam. You can get 2 dozen eggs apparently for about $3.
A glam egg. What?
That's their name.
Glam.
GLAUM. Glam.
Glam. Okay. I'll post a link in the show notes.
There is also Japanese farmers are all about this though.
Oh, I'm sure.
They sell them by like metro stations and like along the roadside in the countryside. And they'll sell like their farm fresh veggies, like lettuces and things like that.
In a vending.
They'll refresh it several times a day though. So you're constantly getting like fresh stuff.
I'm just picturing like this dirt road
with a vending machine on it.
Machine just off to the side.
But they also put them out like the metro stations. So
which is great.
Yeah.
Like that's totally cool.
On your commute, you can get some salad greens.
I know, but I just imagine this vending machine in the middle of nowhere next to a farm.
Yeah, that's the picture that I saw.
Oh my goodness.
One of them.
Okay, what else?
Pecan pie vending machines.
I'd be down with that.
Vending machine, I guess. It's at this specific place in Texas at the Birdall Pecan Farm.
Oh, well, if you
go after
into
hours,
pecans,
you can get a whole pecan pie.
Like a full
pie.
Big
a
pie.
Full, 12-inch pie.
Yep. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Why not? LA, I saw a luxury vending machine that vends caviar. Don't worry, they take credit cards because some of that caviar is over $500 for an ounce.
Caviar is expensive.
Right. I think probably my favorite though that I saw was these hairy crab vending machines in China.
Okay. What? Okay. What do they vend?
A hairy crab. Like it's a specific breed of crab, I guess.
I'm sorry. I thought that was like a brand name. I'm sorry. Hairy crab.
Yeah. So it vends a live crab. So it's in a plastic container, see-through container. And this thing, it looks like a regular vending machine and it's full of live crabs.
Wait, like are they in water or what?
No,
what's the deal?
They're it doesn't look like they're in water. They're in these like plastic, a clam shell, if you will. It's a crab, but it's in a clam
Probably
shell.
Misted enough so they can stay cool.
To-go container. It's in a to-go
Sharon's
container.
doing this like clamshell action with her hands.
I am. You should see it.
Yeah.
So they're in these to-go containers and it's a few dollars. You put it in there. You get a crab. It's a live crab, but they keep it at a temperature so the crab is dormant.
Yes.
So it doesn't snap at you.
We don't want that.
They're all chill, if you will. It is kind of cold. And then they also vend condiments with it. So you get vinegar and 2 packets of tea.
Oh,
It's a complete meal.
it is a complete meal. And then you just got to go figure out how to make that work.
Yeah. Shell on live crab.
I've decided that I have a list of running names for potential bands that I'm going to start. Hairy Crabs is on that now.
Good. I'm glad. I saw some live bait vending machines.
Oh, of course. Right?
Right.
You got to take care of your fishermen.
Yep.
And women. Fishermen and women.
Yep. something that classified as a vending machine, but it's more like a dispenser.
Okay.
And I haven't seen it, and I don't know if it's just because I don't go into a lot of 7-Elevens anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be really into Slurpees. That's kind of tapered off in
You
my
think?
adulthood a little.
It's weird.
But 7-Eleven apparently has a mashed potato dispenser.
No, they don't.
They sure do.
Are you kidding me?
Looks like the Slurpee machine, but it's mashed potatoes. You just press a button and
What?
you can even get gravy with
Who?
it.
I want to know who's got a 7-Eleven near them that does mashed potatoes from a dispenser.
Please let us know at hungrysquared@gmail.com.
I need to know this because that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So some trends that I saw too. So I just totally got lost in like looking up all of the insane things that get vended.
I know, seriously. I'm like, this is fascinating.
Some trends that I noticed is that vending machines are going more healthy, like you were talking about in San Francisco with their quinoa. Even the vending machine at my work now.
Like, what do they have in there?
Well, they don't do sugar drinks.
That might be initiative from your
like,
company, though.
It is.
Yeah.
So I work for a healthcare company. And
so they're helping us out.
Yeah, they're a not-for-profit healthcare company here in Utah. And they've joined the likes of like Mayo Clinic and like Kaiser Permanente, where they've cut out a lot of their added sugars, added salts, added saturated fats out of their vending machines and gift shops and things like that.
Yeah.
So it was a huge revolt.
Yes, I'm sure it
people
was.
have eventually gotten over it.
I am sure.
So now it's all like nuts and baked chips.
It's good.
And that's it.
It's good. Okay.
And that's it.
And water?
Yeah. Well, no. They don't. They have two types of LaCroix in the soda vending machine. They have a juice, 2 LaCroix, and like a few diet sodas. Okay. So they're still diet soda. They're trying to make a point.
Yes.
Not that diet soda is necessarily healthy.
No. But
they're citing studies that state it's not as bad. So whatever. Yeah. So that's the trend that vending machines are taking, is to be a little healthier.
Yes. Any other weird trends?
Well, the mall in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates.
Let's be honest. They're way ahead of the game.
They are. They have a gold vending machine. It's not food related, but it's gold, and you can get gold bullion. You can get like gold bars.
I need to swipe my black credit card. No,
yeah.
Do you know like the Black American Express?
Yeah. And
get a gold bullion
bar. This gold vending machine is monitored, obviously 24/7 by armored guards. But you can get gold from it in 320 different forms, one of which is the gold bars.
I would want it in coins, I think. That would be fun. That'd be satisfying to have a gold coin or 2.
Be like Scrooge McDuck and swim in it.
Yep. Just saying. That'd be fun.
So
okay.
Look for a gold vending machine, probably not near you.
Okay, I do want to know, I'm going to put a shout out there. What is the weirdest vending machine you have encountered while out in the world? What is the weirdest vending machine you have encountered? To the Hungry Squared listeners, send us an email, hungrysquared@gmail.com. We do love mail. We love mail. Email, regular mail, whatever. We love it.
Okay.
That was fun. Introducing interesting ingredients.
Da, 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 da.
Hey, you guys, I'm really excited about this.
Okay, what do you have?
Because I'm going to introduce you to something that I absolutely love. I grew up on. And it's probably weird to a lot of people.
What is it?
Unless you're Chinese. It's called lapchung.
I've never heard of it. What is it
well,
called
it's because
again?
I just said it in Chinese, so.
Oh, I'm like.
It's Chinese sausage.
Lapchung?
Lapchung. Did you get that?
Nope. I'm sure you'll put that in the show notes.
I will.
Because I don't know what you just said.
Okay, so you guys, I wanted to introduce you to something called lapchung. That's the Cantonese way of saying it. But lapchung is Chinese sausage. It's usually dried. It's kind of high in fat. It's really fatty. It's really tasty.
Makes it taste good.
They are dried. So, And they're usually consistent of pork, and there's some sweet, spices and seasonings and stuff. I like them because they're kind of sweeter too. That seems weird. I mean, I think for a lot of people when I say a sweet sausage, but it's a sweeter sausage, and I super love it. And it usually comes in, those in the cartoons where there's like sausage, link, sausage, like it's all tied together.
Like a string, a garland of sausages.
A garland of sausage. You can get lapchung that way because they're all connected. And the way I make it, so it comes kind of dried. It's in a vacuum packed plastic thing. Go to your Asian store, your nearest Asian store, and look around for some red sausages that are in a vacuum packed.
Oh, so they're red?
They're reddish looking. If they're darker red, there's a very good chance that it has liver in it. And I like those. I think they're good. They're not as sweet, but you can, liver has a very distinct flavor to it. So it still has that really yummy sausage flavor, but then it has that kind of irony, flavor of of liver in it. And so go to your Asian store and give that a try. The way you cook it, in my personal opinion, this is how I did it, is that when you're making rice, because you have to have it, you got to steam that and everything.
Sure.
I just chuck them into my rice cooker and let it do its thing.
Oh, you steam them.
I steam them, and they kind of puff
like
up.
A steamed hot dog. Okay.
And then you slice them up into little slices and eat them with some rice and vegetables. It's the best. I'm just saying. Other people have said you should fry them up on your frying pan, but I'm like, wow, that's a lot of oil. Like, I have never really done it that way before, but some people swear by it, and that's apparently really good. So maybe I'll have to try that next time. But lapchung, go to your Asian market. You're not going to find it at your typical supermarket, I suspect. And try and find the Chinese sausage. I promise. It's so good.
Okay.
Give it a try.
Thanks for joining us today for our show. You can find us at hungrysquared.com, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Spotify.
You guys, we just want to say we love you.
Yeah.
We really do. Thanks for tuning in every week. We really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us every week and commenting on stuff.
We love our community.
Yeah. So thanks so much. Join us next week for our next episode of Food Nerdery.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry squared, yeah, hungry squared.